Hi, welcome to Me and Mediumship. Little video just based on some of the comments and things that have been said, questions I've been asked, and get quite a few of those, which is great. I love working with you all, and this is based on the difference between psychic work and mediumship work, um, and I'm going to try and really and base it around the teaching side of things, because it's been mentioned a few times about some of the experiences some of you have had, and which is not correct. Unfortunately, I don't feel personally. Obviously, you can have your own opinions on that, and that I totally respect. You know that by now. So, really, based on what some of you are saying, some of the courses, etc., that you are taking, and some of the circles that you are sitting in, you do an awful lot of psychic work. Now, this may well be a method that people are using to help you build up with your sensitivity, which is, I guess, one way of doing it. But it doesn't seem to change an awful lot over the weeks on the courses. It doesn't seem to head in the direction of mediumship, which is not only confusing for you, because obviously you think you're doing a good job and everything's hunky-dory, and then when it comes to making that connection, when it comes to holding on to that connection, then obviously you start to struggle a bit for obvious reasons. So when you work psychically, you are obviously working with the energy of the sitter. You are not connecting to spirit. There's no connection there. And to be fair, the sitter, if they're in the know, that is, the sitter should question that. Well, where did that information come from? Because if you can give details of maybe life's events to a sitter, maybe related to their work, general things that are happening in their life, maybe like moving home, things like that, then the chances are that you are working on a psychic level, not on a mediumship level. Though these two need to be separated, and it doesn't seem to happen that often. Obviously, there are good teachers, if you like, out there who will help you with that connection of spirit, but they need to make it clear on what level you are working on at that particular moment in time. Are you working psychically? Is the information you're getting from your group a psychic link, or is it a mediumship link? Now, for many, it's quite obvious what level they're working on, and you know yourself if you have that connection with spirit. Well, you should know that. You should know if you are working with an energy or if you are working psychically. And it's sad for the sitter, for someone who books a reading with someone who advertises as a medium, and they just get fed an awful lot of psychic information. It's fine if you advertise as a psychic and you work psychically. Absolutely fine. Of course it is. But it's important that the sitter knows that is where the information is coming from. Personally, if I was given a reading by somebody and they said you are about to change your job within the next 12 months, then I would question where that information come from if I was being told that the reading I was getting was a mediumship reading. Mediums work with spirit. Okay, we work with loved ones that have passed. A loved one is unlikely to have an awful lot of interest in somebody's job, where they're living, and if you imagine Imagine yourself as a mum, a dad, a brother or a sister who has passed. Imagine that excitement. Imagine that love vibration when you link into that medium who's sat with your son or your daughter. Imagine that feeling for them, knowing that they can communicate, they can pass on that love from themselves to their son, daughter or whoever. If you imagine that, if you like, if we put it in human terms, imagine being in their shoes. Not that they've got any shoes, obviously, but imagine being in that position. You have passed, you have found a link to your loved one through a medium, you have merged energies with that medium, you have merged souls, if you like, to a degree where information can be passed through that medium to your daughter. Imagine that. Are you going to talk about you're going to change your job? I think it's unlikely. Are you going to talk about, oh, you're moving house? I think that's unlikely. It certainly wouldn't be the first thing that I would want to express to my loved one here on this plane. You would just want to put their mind at rest. You would want them to know that you are at peace, that you are fine. You would want to tell them how much you love and miss them. You would want to tell them about the times that you've drawn close to them. There are lots of things you would want to tell them, rather than, I see you're about to move house. It may well come up within that reading at some point, if it's going to happen. If, for argument's sake, the daughter is packing to move house, finding it all very stressful, and mum comes through, she says through the medium, please don't stress, everything will be fine, you're doing a great job, I know you're moving home. You know, there is a line of conversation there happening. They just will not come through, oh, you're moving house. So then you know as a medium that you have that connection with spirit. You sense that personality with you. You sense that love that's coming through you. So it's important that we divide the psychic with the mediumship. There are many who work purely psychically. There are some that may well work with both. But they will make it perfectly clear, if they are professional, they will make it perfectly clear on what level they are working. They will say, I sense you're going to move home. I sense you're going to change your job. And that for me would mean that that information was being projected from myself, not from my loved one. It was something that the psychic had picked up from my vibration and was working with that. So if you attend classes, if you attend circles, and for weeks on end you are just getting information from the people that you are learning with, and you're giving that information, and fantastic, if you're giving that information, it's correct, but you must question where that information is coming from. And the person receiving that information also must question where that information is coming from. You have that right to say, can you tell me where that information is coming from? And if you are told it is coming from spirit, then say, who is it who is telling you? So a medium will link with spirit within minutes, more or less instantly, 9 times out of 10 before a sit-in, because they are well aware of what you are about to do, who you are about to see, who you are about to read for, and the energies that had that love link with the person that you're going to read for will start to draw close to you. And obviously there's that air of excitement, there's that wonderful feeling of love, emotion, and as a medium you start to sense that before the sitting itself. You'll have an idea of the gender of the energy that's coming through, the relationship of that energy that is drawing close to you. Sometimes it may well be when you walk through the door and start to give your reading, that energy will then make itself known. But over time you'll start to realise that they start to draw close before that. For myself, this happened the day before, and you acknowledge them. Don't forget, open that line of conversation with that energy. Be respectful by doing that. Acknowledge them. Say thank you to them. We'll be seeing your daughter tomorrow. Please draw close then, and we'll work together on sending your love through to your daughter. Open that line of communication, because the more you communicate back, the more thought energy that you project out there into the world of spirit, the clearer the information will flow for you. Now, like I said, if you're attending courses, if you're sitting in circles and you are finding that an awful lot of the training that is being given to you revolves around what are you picking up, what are you sensing from this person, then question it. You have that right to do that. Or, if you're not comfortable in doing that, find another circle, find another course. If you want to work as a medium, drop the psychic. That is my personal opinion. Many of you will be psychic naturally, maybe. And obviously, if you want to work as a medium, you do not want to take the psychic route. You want to take the connection route, that reaching out route. That route where you sit and build a relationship with spirit. So when you're sitting with self, for spirit, open your line of communication. Sense their presence. And when you're doing your readings, your demonstrations or whatever, sense their presence. Work with them. Do not just work on the psychic level. We owe the world of spirit at least that. An awful lot of energy is used for them to lower vibration to our level to be able to communicate with us. We need to respect the hard work that they do. And obviously we also work hard with sitting with self and for spirit. It's a two-way thing, and it takes time, it takes dedication. So it's important that you sit for spirit and self as often as you can. It's not always possible. Like I've said before, we all have lives to live. Things happen. So if you want to work as a medium, realize that difference, and do not let anybody teach you or take you down the psychic route rather than the mediumship route. Don't be fooled by that. You owe that to yourself, and you owe that to spirit. And that's it. I've gone into a bit more detail on my Patreon about the difference, how to work on that mediumship level rather than the psychic level, how to know, how to really sense where you're working at, if you like. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, please subscribe. Sorry if it doesn't resonate what I've said with everyone, but that's absolutely fine. And like I said, Patreon, I go into a lot more depth on there and talk about working in the right direction. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to say bye now because time's getting on, much to do, and have a lovely evening. It's bye for now. Thank you.